Welcome to Colombia. I'm Lucas Eddy. I'm the communications manager here at KLIM. Tolga's got the camera. He's our video producer here. We're walking to get our bikes right now from a storage place just around the block. And we're about to start what's going to be a 3 or 4 week adventure ride in Colombia. And it's a bit of a process to get started here. So obviously we're in a COVID-19 pandemic. And as is tradition, we're behind schedule. We're limited on time, of course. And it was a bit of a project to get here when I started maybe 10 days ago to meet with Tolga in Colombia. Now we're walking to the garage where we have our bikes parked to store them. We're gonna grab the bikes, go to the place we're staying, load them up with all of our luggage, then that's it. Then we're leaving town. And not sure exactly when we'll be back. Tolga kind of has the routes, we'll see. Okay, so we've got our bike set up. I've got the Husky 701 LR. Tolga has a brand new KTM 690. We got these from Husky and KTM. We're working with them and with K-Bikes in Medellin and Power Shop for the KTM. These are dealerships for KTM and Husky here in Colombia. So they're helping us out big time with these bikes. We've got them set up. Mine was basically ready to go. I just put a skid plate and a few other things on there, but Tolga's bike is a brand new 690. So let's take a look and see what he's done to that.
Well, hey guys, this is Tolga from KLIM, and yeah, welcome to Colombia. We're in Medellin, the second biggest town in Colombia, which I've been before probably 4 times so far. And this is the bike I will be riding, the KTM 690 Enduro R 2020. So what I did, like some, racks, skid plate and some other stuff. And I had to modify my Moscow R80s because I have to carry a lot of filming gear like drone batteries, charger, lenses, tripods, so I had to change the tailback of Moscow to a GV, bigger tailback basically, so it makes my life easier. And I have my tank back here, the Enduro stand, basically it's all, lenses, filters. I keep my camera here, spare batteries, I can charge stuff also with a USB. And yeah, that's basically it. So I've been to Colombia on a motorcycle several times. And then today from Medellin, we're trying to head south as much as possible to Pasto so we can start coming north up. So that's why we're gonna haul today on bikes. Long journey, like 500 kilometers, let's say 350 miles. But 350 miles in Colombia is a really long day because of, they don't have highways like in the US.
Here we are with everything we're going to carry on the bikes for like 4 weeks. Just heading south out of Medellin. Tolga's up there in front of me on the 690. And here's the thing about riding in Colombia. The road rules are kind of looser for motorcycles. It's kind of like other parts of the world as well. You just kind of weave between traffic. However, it's reasonable to do so. So you don't have to drive like a car like in the US.
So the other thing about Colombia is usually people use motorcycles of all sorts as their commuting vehicles because there's a lot of traffic, especially here in Medellin. So every morning you see this, a lot of bikes, motorcycles just around town all the time. They let you pass. If it's a tight road, they kind of see you and they kind of lean right or left, whatever the situation is. So it's actually, Colombia is a great country for motorcycles because, again, everyone is, other than everyone being by default really friendly, they are also motorcycle friendly as well.
And the thing is, right now, there's like no traffic. This is normally a really full road.
So Lucas, do you know why people have numbers and letters on their helmets?
I don't. Why?
You were never curious about it?
Nope. I saw them. I didn't know why.
in Colombia, you're required to have your license plate of your motorcycle on your helmet as well, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so part of the reason why we're actually doing this on motorcycles during a pandemic is because this is one of the best ways to do social distancing. By the very nature of what we're doing, we're kind of away from people, and where we're going is going to be kind of off the beaten path, which is a cliche, of course, but that's what we're doing. Colombia is good for us. Maybe Tolga, you want to talk about kind of the practical, there's oil right here, kind of the practical cost reasons why Colombia is very effective for this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Why we're here during a pandemic to film things instead of in California or Colorado or something else.
In my case, as a producer, it's in the United States, unfortunately, the local agencies like the Forest Service, you know, the Highway Patrol, or those type of government agencies, they treat anyone who wants to film whatever, if it's just like a big blockbuster movie, and they have really harsh requirements. It costs a lot, and you cannot really exactly film the way you want it to be. Like, there are a lot of restrictions about it, and this is kind of making my job hard. So the other thing is, I think, especially for this adventure riding, you know, dual sport adventure type of crowd, I think most of our customers are curious about, you know, what people do, how they travel around the world, and what countries they visit, etc., etc. So, and obviously Colombia is way cheaper to travel than in the US. I mean, the best is no one bothers you about if you're filming or what you're doing on the side of the road or flying a drone. So I mean, I kind of like that flexibility to produce content here. So that's the reason mainly we're here.
So the important thing to remember here is that we're in a pandemic, and being from the United States, being based out of the United States, we need to be very, very respectful and cognizant of what type of situations we're in. So we're not going out to bars, we're not going out to parties, to clubs, and that kind of stuff. Obviously, we're traveling on bikes, so it's basically just us. We're not using public transportation, all that kind of stuff. And of course, the safest thing during a pandemic is to stay at home, stay inside, limit your contact with others, and all that kind of stuff. And before I get to my next point, let me say everything we're doing is as safe as we can possibly do it. We got a COVID test before we came here. We're limiting our contact with others. Everybody's wearing masks all the time when we're in public. We might not wear masks when it's just me and Tolga, you know, in the woods somewhere. That's different. But the point is, we're trying to be as safe as possible, as respectful as possible, while still traveling. Even though that's kind of a no-no word during these times, we're trying to travel, trying to experience what is out here, because that's something that we're passionate about, both as people, Tolga and myself, and the KLIM brand. So part of what we're going to be showing during these videos is how you can do this and be as safe and as respectful as possible in a pandemic situation. And part of the situation here is that it's all risk and reward, as with anything. And we feel comfortable with the risks we are taking, doing our best to limit risk to other people, and reaping some rewards, and bringing you guys along for the journey as we move through the country. Getting breakfast just now. We spent maybe an hour or so coming from Medellin. Now we're at the top of this kind of mountain road, gonna get some breakfast because I need food. Tolga can kind of go a lot of time without food, but I need food right away, big time, and coffee. Yeah. There you go, man.
What do you think so far about the riding? I mean, it's been just...
They're just pavement, but really tight twisties over and over and over and over and over again. It's pretty good. And we're kind of getting a little bit higher. There's some low clouds moving through. It's cool. It's good. I don't know. It's some kind of round bread with some cheese on it and some butter. I don't know. Oh. It's like made from plantanos or something. From plantains. That's kind of how it tastes. But we just came off like a 2-lane highway, went through a town, and now we're on this road with no lanes. Going higher and higher up. Road's getting narrower. Leaves are changing on the trees. Oh, look over there to the right. Next time it opens. Look. Oh, you can't really see. The front wheel is really light. With these bags on the back.
Yes, it is. It's kind of slippery as well.
Yeah, especially those leaves when they're wet. We're just on some, I don't know, backcountry mountain road. We say backcountry, but we're just going between like small villages and stuff right now. We're kind of close to Manizales. We're not going to go directly through the main route there. We're kind of taking some side roads to make it a little bit more interesting. What do we have? Like 300 something kilometers left. It's 12:30 now, and that's like 6 hours of riding. Sun sets at like, I don't know, 5:30, 6:30, something like that. So we kind of have to make some time up to some degree, but also we're checking and seeing how this luggage works and how everything else is working, because we never did a shakedown run. So day one, big day. This is our shakedown. I'm kind of having some like looseness issues. I'm going to cinch it down. Tolga had a bag that was coming loose. So that's just small stuff you kind of have to deal with and fix it as you go, as the problems come up. So the other part of what we're doing here is kind of testing product still. It seems a little bit counterintuitive maybe, because the gear we're wearing is Baja. Baja is for gear, and then we have some other like rain shells and that kind of stuff with us as well. And we're continuing to test it, because even though we've made the gear and it's in the market now, the improvement process never really stops. So at some point you have to make a decision. Okay, bring the gear to the market, sell it. But that doesn't mean testing stops, that doesn't mean development stops. We're still looking at ideas how to improve it, how to make small things better and better. And what that means is testing and riding and making sure people have the gear that we know and trust, and they can use it and give us feedback as well. And just feedback from regular riders as they buy the gear and use it. So kind of those three things: our testing, our dedicated test riders, and then regular consumers is kind of what helps us develop the gear as we go forward. And this activity we're doing now, which is producing some adventure motorcycle travel episodes in Colombia, while we're doing this, we can still test the gear, give feedback to our product team and that kind of stuff. And then, to be perfectly candid with you guys, to be perfectly honest, Tolga and I were going to be stopping to do photos and scenic spots, to get riding video and slow-mo and all that kind of stuff when we get to nice pretty spots. So what you guys are going to see is actually a combination of adventure travel and kind of the way, what are these guys doing? And kind of the way that these kinds of photo shoots work, where it's just the two of us, we have a small team, no support truck, no nothing, and we're going to see how we produce this kind of content, because it is a lot of work. It's not easy. And on top of that, I know I'm kind of rambling, but my normal job as communications manager is not to ride motorcycles and talk to the camera and that kind of stuff. So I'm usually doing emails, writing stuff, planning stuff, having meetings. So I still have to somehow find time to keep doing that as best I can while we do this.
So what is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's liver. We're gonna get some pork, some pig meat. Tolga and I are just stopping out for lunch and some water and stuff. And I don't know, we have probably 250 or more kilometers to go. Probably more than that. So we're not going to go all the way to Cali today. Maybe we'll go to Pereira, I think instead. Yeah, it's on the way. We'll make it. What are you doing?
I'm trying to find a place to stay for tonight in Pereira. We are not gonna make it to Cali today, so we had to take a detour, which was a little bit, you know, nice dirt road, but it is taking really longer than we expected. So instead of riding in the dark, we decided just to sleep in Pereira, and hopefully tomorrow we're gonna be in Cali. So that's, now I'm looking for a place to stay, not so expensive, but clean enough. So that's the goal.
All right, in a hotel in Pereira. Tolga found this place like an hour or two ago on the road. Pretty good day today. We're kind of getting a feel of the bikes, you know, how the luggage is moving around, what has to get tightened, what gets loose. But overall, pretty solid, pretty standard first day, kind of figuring out some things here and there. And running late, we kind of ran out of light a little bit. Got dark when we got to the hotel, not a big deal. And here we are. We'll start again tomorrow. Day 2 now. We just spent the night in the hotel in Pereira, which wasn't planned. We just didn't go as far south yesterday as we planned on the first day. We're kind of feeling out the bikes, checking how the luggage works. Tolga's bike is brand new, so he's doing his braking miles now as well. We're going to continue south to Cali now, which is basically from Medellin to where we are now, straight south, and then again south to Cali, where we're heading today. It's a pretty simple day today. A lot of pavement, I think. We'll get going. Alright, so we made it to Cali, kind of middle of the day, maybe like 1 or 2 o'clock. And we dropped off all of our bags at the place where we're staying. And now we're actually going to the local KTM Husky dealership. And we're going to get the preload on our shocks adjusted to kind of make the chassis more level how it's supposed to be when we've got all the bags on the back, which we didn't get to do before we left Medellin. So they're not terrible, but if we can adjust them so they're proper, then we'll just do that. Today, this afternoon, we'll see how that goes. All right, well, we just picked our bikes back up because the guys at the shop said it would take too long. So here we are. Same preload situation as before. Bikes sitting kind of low in the back once we have luggage on them. And to be honest with you, that's going to be our excuse when we can't ride them through situations like, oh man, my preload isn't right, my sag isn't right, blah, blah, blah. So that's fine, really. Okay, leaving Cali this morning. We have 2 challenges ahead of us. The first is that we're kind of getting a late start here. And the second challenge is we want to go to Pasto as quick as possible, which is pretty far south in the country. Right now, we're only about halfway from Medellin, where we started, to Pasto, which is our goal. So today is either going to be a super gnarly day of knocking out huge highway miles, or we're gonna, you know, do kind of a more reasonable day and then another day tomorrow to get to Pasto. Not entirely sure. We're just gonna have to see how it goes. So now we're in Popayan. Not sure exactly how to pronounce it, to be honest. We came from Cali last night. I think we stopped there. We had to do some computer work and kind of catch up on some things. And the first thing we noticed when we went south out of Pereira before that was a big change into a lot of sugarcane fields and that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool to see. But we didn't have any time to explore or do anything of that because, to be honest with you, these roads are super narrow, they're super tight, they wind around, there's all kinds of trucks and unexpected things going on. So you can't go that fast, you can't cover distances quickly. So that's why we're here in Popayan again. Spend the night in this kind of old style colonial hotel that we found. We're gonna go take a look around the city, see what's here as we wait to make our trip to Pasto the next day, which originally was supposed to take only 2 days, and it's, what is it, like 3 days, 4 days now? So a little slower than we planned, but that's how it goes. Okay, kind of earlier this morning than it was yesterday. We're just leaving Popayan now. We have a longer day ahead of us today because yesterday was shorter, kind of an awkward spacing of towns and where we wanted to stay. So, gonna knock out some miles today. Raining, chillier. Got our rain layers on, forecast pants, and stowaway rain jackets. And both of us didn't bring Gore-Tex gloves, so we'll see how it goes because it's going to be chilly where we're going. Actually, kind of higher up in the mountains, which I didn't expect. Didn't expect Colombia to be colder. I was expecting it to be just hot, hot, hot all the time. So that's kind of interesting. Oh, look at that! Do you see that? Yeah. His brakes are hot, big time.
Whoa, look.
Oh, please, please.
Did you see the sparkles?
Yeah, I did. This is the road snack situation. These like sugar milk candies with some fruit, nuts, more nuts, candy bar, chocolate and peanuts. So here we are in southern Colombia. We finally reached the turning point in our journey. We're next to this lake called Laguna de la Cocha, not far from this town called Pasto, which we've been telling you about for the last 4 days. We're basically relaxing this afternoon. We're walking around, taking a look at this beautiful property here. And it's surprisingly cold. That's why you see me wearing the clothes I'm wearing. So it's usually been hot, now it's cold. But anyways, so tomorrow we're gonna start heading to Trampolin de la Muerte, which is trampoline of death. And Tolga kind of has the details on the routes and what we're doing there, so he can explain that to us.
Yes, as Lucas mentioned, we're heading to Trampolin de la Muerte tomorrow, which is in Putumayo department of Colombia. Maybe we need to mention that Colombia has 32 departments and 1 capital district. And yes, Putumayo is one of them, and Trampolin de la Muerte is this narrow, high mountain pass, kind of sketchy, you know, no guardrails, narrow, trucks crossing without too much caution type of road. From the Colombian motorcyclists, this is kind of like, Trampolin de la Muerte is like the most dangerous road you can ride on a motorcycle in Colombia. That's what I've been told, so we'll see tomorrow.
I've crossed from Mississippi, we're searching for a